Despite modest gains, gold has closed higher for the last 4 consecutive trading days, and silver is heading for its 5th. So is there enough momentum for prices to keep moving higher here? Joining us today is Kitco's Global Trading Director, Peter Hug. Pete, welcome back to the show.
It's good to be here again, Daniela.
So gold and silver up on short covering here, Pete. Are you happy with the levels you're seeing right now?
Well, I mean, you've got to be somewhat impressed with the resilience of the metals, after the sell-off. And I think, a lot's got to do not so much with, North Korea is possibly out there as one of the possible triggers, but I don't think, unless something happens on that peninsula, that's going to be a primary story. I think the primary story is really the issues that are developing in front of our eyes in the White House with the firing of the FBI director, and then potentially yesterday, President Trump leaking national secrets to the Russians. Again, it's not so much whether there's any context or any real content to the story. It's more a distraction, and I think the markets are looking at this saying, until this sort of resolves itself, I mean, does the Trump administration have the firepower to carry through some of the agenda? The infrastructure spend, the tax reform, and the health bill. And there's some serious questions as to whether or not he's losing support from the Republican side. And given that context, it's possible that the Fed may hold off in June. An interest rate increase has been built into this market that the Fed is going to move at least a quarter point in June. The economic data is not that strong, and if the Fed is worried that the Trump administration's initiatives might be stalled, they may wait until the next meeting. If that happens, I think gold gets a lift.
Okay, so are you going to be waiting now to determine whether there's enough momentum for gold, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, my trigger here is I'm watching the equity market. That's where the capital is going right now. It's moving out of the commodity space. It's moving out of the fixed income space and moving into the equity market. If that equity market starts to run into trouble and starts to head south, that would to me be an indication that gold and especially silver have got considerably more legs ahead of them. But the jury's still out there. The equity market is the Dow is still holding around 2,100. And, as long as there's some stability in the equity market, there's going to be sort of a ceiling to where the metals can go. Again, assuming no geopolitical issues from North Korea. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching the equity market and the dollar, and not so much the dollar against the euro, but more the dollar against the yen, which is more reflective of the carry trade. And if the yen starts to strengthen again, that will also give a boost to the metals. Right now, we're just right on the verge of either breaking to the upside. If we can get through 39, I think gold's got another $20 in the short term, or it's going to settle back into the 20s until the Fed meeting gets behind us.
I was just going to ask you your key levels. You just told us gold. What are you eyeing for silver, Pete?
I like silver. If you're bullish the gold market, you've got to be buying silver. From a ratio perspective, silver, being above 73 to 1. If this gold market can hold or break up through 39, I think silver's got at least $1 in it. So I like the trade from a percentage gain on silver if you're bullish the market. From a support resistance level, I think silver at 16.25.30 has got serious support. And the resistance level on silver, I think it needs to get through the figure at 17, which then brings in 17.40 fairly quickly.
Peter, thank you for your thoughts. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Hey.